Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Multifamily Legacy Podcast. I'm your host, Corey Peterson. And what an amazing week. Man, we are getting ready. We are on the front of getting ready to launch and deliver the Kahuna boardroom. Man, like you want to talk about like my the my desk, my office is an absolute mess right now. We've been working so hard and we're going to deliver what I think is going to be a truly amazing product. And we're going to, I think, exceed everybody's expectations and what's going on. And I'm so thankful. I'm sitting here thinking about, this journey. I started this journey almost 2 years ago of wanting to start a podcast, wanting to teach what I know and to give back. And the whole process it's mind blowing to think about when you start something and then where you finish. And we're just starting. And that's the truth is we're just starting. We are just now starting to understand who we are as a company, our message, and how we reach our audience. The things that you, my guests, my cash flow creators. By the way, there's a name for who you are, and like I put it on the side of my hat, right? It's called cash flow creator. I want you guys to become a cash flow creator just like me. And because it is about my favorite word, legacy. Dude, if legacy can't get you excited, I don't know what will. So before we start this podcast, let me just go into the vaults of the iTunes, and I want to give a special little shout out. Hold on. I actually opened this link and then I don't know why I did this, but I closed it. So here it is. The Real Deal by Jay Coco. For used car salesman, Corey, in my opinion, is not only the best podcast host, but he also knows his Shiai. I mean, he really knows what he's talking about. He teaches in-depth information that you can use right away. You just have to have the big kahunas to listen to the big kahuna. Woo! Let's do this. Man, thanks a lot. I love that, dude. That gets me all excited. I love when you guys leave those iTunes reviews. It lets me know that you care. It lets me know that what I'm doing is making sense. And I've already, people, I don't make it a secret of how not to get a hold of me or to how to get a hold of me, but a lot of you are finding ways to get a hold of me. And that's pretty cool. It's a lot of fun. And just hearing your stories and sharing your stories. And so out of that, actually, I'm getting ready to have a conversation, but I was thinking in my head of what I want to call the power of like the relationships. Okay. Hold on. Before I get that, I got to do this every podcast. It's one of my staples, but if you've not done so, and a lot of you have, so I know you guys get tired of hearing this part, right? But for anybody new, they've got to hear it. Go to Kahuna Wealth Builders and download the Quick Start Workshop. It's a video series sequence that allows you to, learn how to raise private money, how to find deals, and just it's a good place to start getting everything Kahuna. Okay, so do that now. Even if you have to hit pause, whatever. Get her done, right? So with that said, the name of this podcast, I'm going to call it The Power of Relationships. And the power of relationships is truly everything. And when I look back on my career, man, there's certain times where I've had people that touch me where I've really moved and done some things different that I didn't even know that I could do. And I want to do it for you today. So, man, when I first started, I didn't know anybody. I had my friends and my family. And so that's where I had to start. You may be there too. Okay. That is okay. And what are we talking about here? What are we talking about? We're talking about raising OPM private money, the cheddar, as that other guy that's doing multifamily, Grant Cardone, right? Talks about. Yeah, I follow him. I absolutely do. But the thing is now I do it a little bit differently than Grant. So I think you would probably. I'm not Grant. I'm just the Kahuna. Okay, I'm in my Hawaii shirt right now. I'm doing it the way I like to do it. I like to talk about the rents due, right? And becoming a cash flow creator and having my little house symbol. Okay. um, but here's the thing: the power of people come across your network, and well, sometimes you do things that you didn't know you could do. And so for you guys out there, now I think I understand my audience a little bit. I know you're either new into real estate, you're seasoned and you're wanting to level up into real estate, or you're like a busy professional. I've had a lot of doctors, dentists, lawyers, and chiropractors, people that are working pretty hard and have client lists. And I'm going to address that. I want to go in just to that group of people just for a minute. Now, I'm not trying to alienate anybody else, okay? Because you're looking at a cat that started from the bottom. I'm like that Drake song, right? Started from the bottom. Now I'm here, okay? So, but man, I could only I think sometimes, and I want to save my hardworking doctors, dentists from yourself for a minute, okay? And this is going to be profound in a way, and it may open your eyes. Because if you only knew what I knew, you would be dangerous. You would be so flipping dangerous. Like it would be stupid. Okay. What am I talking about? I'm talking about utilizing the power of your influence. Think about it. If you're a dentist, doctor, lawyer, CPA, chiropractor, anybody that has a bunch of clients that come and see you on a regular basis, or a with dentists that every 6 months or whatever it is, and you have those little clever conversations, and you have a database of all your clients. If you knew that the power of that database and what you could do with it, because they know and like and trust you and respect you, they come to your place for a reason. And it's not always because you're the most convenient or the most cheapest. There's lots of dentists that charge premiums. And I don't know why I keep saying dentist. So I'm thinking about my chiropractor, actually, Dr. Tim. And dude, here's the thing. If you would learn how to leverage that, if all I could teach you was how to leverage the people that you already know, do you understand how hard I had to work to get where I am at today? And here you guys are. I already know that you hate your job. You may not hate it, your job per se, but you hate coming to work to do the job each and every day, right? Because you're a slave, right? This is like the Matrix. I got the red pill and the blue pill. And all I'm offering you is the truth, okay? And that's what you are. You're kind of a slave to your office and to your clients. And it never stops when you get off the hamster wheel. And I think, I've talked with my chiropractor and my dentist about this. Both of them are investors with me. And we talk about what the fears are, right? The fears of, even if once you quit practicing, the fear of not having any more income come into your life, that is so real. It is not just, it's everybody has that fear. Is the money that I saved enough? And so how can you retire from your job early without any regrets? Well, I believe it's with real estate. I know it's real. Not I believe, I know. I absolutely know it's with real estate. But it's probably not what you're thinking. And hopefully, because you're on this podcast, you've actually elected yourself into the right group of thinking, which is think big, think multifamily. I'm telling you right now, you could go out and leverage all the people you know, and you could start a warm-up process of what you're doing. In fact, you could find a partner. Maybe someone like the Kahuna that would partner with you because you could use his influence to your list with your credibility put together, and that makes a very easy deal. Like, do you see that? I see it clear as day. I see it all the time. And so, you got to find people like me. There's lots of people like me out there. You can find me out if you want to, but and the only way I do deals with anybody is through, you got to come through my boardroom, right? So you've got to go to the boardroom to get into any type of structure with me to do deals, right? Because I got to educate you on my process. But I see this all the time, and like, if I see sometimes I see a lot of people try to do it wrong, and where they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go look at this, and I'm like, listen, I want to smack them, smack. Listen, don't make this hard, make it simple. Like, life is simple if you want to make it simple. Don't make it hard. And that's sometimes the toughest part of working with these real smart people, because I'm going to tell you, hands down, I'm going to tell you right now, they're a lot smarter than me. Okay. I barely made it out of high school. Okay. I'm not going to lie. I copied a lot in high school to get through math. Kevin Highfill, I thank you. Jennifer Stubbs, thank you for the spelling test stuff. So I got a lot of thank yous to make as I kind of got out of school. But the truth is like, I've not been that smart, but I think it's a blessing in a way. Now, am I a pretty smart guy? I really am. Okay. I know this, right? I've spent my life learning. And actually, a lot of those medical professionals, they're always in continuing education, right? So they're always learning the new and up and coming. And I'm the same way, but I've just done it with business and with real estate. I'm always learning the up and coming in real estate. And so, but I've learned the power of partnerships and the power of relations. And so this is what I want to get to you today, is that if you would look at your sphere and say, how can I get to them the right way in a nice message that's consistent, that's clear, that's not douchebaggery, right? That's not any way, shape, or form, not, that kind of stuff, right? You don't want to do it like that. But you want to at least get the message out. And a lot of my friends like that are afraid. They're afraid to say, oh gosh, well then they're going to think that I'm going to quit my dentistry or I'm going to quit chiropractic. They're not. Okay, trust me, they're not. Because they like you. They come to your place because they like you. They like you, you provide a service, and they like it. And so you even have relationships with all your people. That's why you're in business. And so I'm speaking to a specific group of people right now. I know that's this is weird, but I want to save a lot of my friends from themselves, in that they're thinking that they have to do this business all themselves. And it could be, the honest answer is, it's farther from the truth. You need to learn to leverage your relationships, not only the ones that you have with your patients and your clients and that stuff right there, but then if you want to get into real estate and you don't have the time because you're always at work, leverage your relationships with other investors. So my good friend, David Phelps runs a mastermind for dentists. And guess what he teaches these dentists? He teaches them how to partner with real estate professionals. I'm a trusted advisor with David Phelps Group. I go to David Phelps Group to go meet other doctors and dentists, and I teach them how to partner with me in their deals. And really what I've been teaching them is how to leverage their relationships. Because not only do they have their client list, okay, that's one list like down, but they also have another list that's sideways, which is all the other dentists that they know in their networks. I'm like, don't you guys go to conference? Because like in my business, we go to conference all the time. Like I call it mastermind groups. And I go meet other real estate investors. I'm like, don't you do that with like doctors and chiropractors? And don't you guys all meet together and talk about kumbaya? You know? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, well, gosh dang, man. Like, start to get to know some people, build your list, right? Better yet, find someone like me and bring them along. In fact, I would pay. I'd pay to come to that. You know, like, see how easy that is. That's the power of leveraging. So people like me, I'm always looking for capital. I mean, that is that's my job. My job is to raise capital for the investments that I do. Okay. And that's what you guys, I've always talked about this in almost every episode. Like, what is my job is to raise money. If you raise money, if you'll focus more on raising capital and less on finding deals, like, listen, you raise enough capital, deals will come find you. That's just a fact. And so, you know, where I put more stock in it, is it finding a deal? No, I don't. Because people find deals, but so what, right? Like, how much is a deal worth? Like 10% of something, maybe 10, maybe not, maybe a little bit less. Bringing a deal plus bringing some money. Whoa, now do I got your attention now? Right? I kind of want to be like, put that coffee down. You think I'm messing with you? No, I'm not messing with you. That is the power. What's my name? My name is Cash Flow. Right? I'm here for Mitch and Murray. I'm here for my boys. I'm here to save you from yourself, because so many times it's just like, I see it. I mean, every time I go to my dentist and my chiropractor, they're always there. Now, actually, my chiropractor is starting not to be there. I love this guy. He is really starting to leverage all the people in his office. He's leveraging people, and I see him keep doing it. I'm like, dude, that's awesome. Now, my dentist is just now starting to figure that out. He's starting to, like, his office is starting to grow. He's adding more and more pieces. He's got the room and the space to do it. And for the same reason, is because they all want, that's what they want. Guess what they need? It's not the first thing. Remember, there's two things that we want in this world. The first one is time. And the second one is money. And maybe it's flip-flop. Maybe it's money and then time, right? Because a lot of us start making some money, but then we look and we're like, dude, we got no time. We got no time. And so let me just give you an example of how I said no to something as well, just for the reason of sake of talking about time. Now, I'm getting ready to have my boardroom event next week, and I'm going to have 35 killers in the room that are all, I mean, most of them are 7-figure types of people who I know if I asked them. Now, I'm not saying everybody would do it, but if I asked the group, I came up with this. Actually, I didn't even come up with the idea. My good friend Sean Terry came up with the idea, and it was a massive idea, and I liked it, dude. I really like this idea. And he was like, Corey, you need to create a mastermind. You're going to call it the Kahuna. And then I came up with a name called the Kahuna Syndicate. Dude, that even sounds sexy, man. The Kahuna Syndicate. And it was going to be like, this is like the Godfather of where all the Dons come, and we like figure out what deals we're going to do. And I could go pitch this mastermind, and I could probably get $100,000 per person to come join this mastermind. I know I could. And I know it would sell out fast, because we would be offering deals and money and mentorship kind of a process. I would crush it. Absolutely crush it. Now, I said no to that idea. It took me a whole week. Dude, I was thinking about this thing for a whole week of, man, I'm running it through my head like, okay, here's what I could do. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be another piece to what I'm already doing now. And after, like, in the middle of doing that, I started, like, my little back of my brain was like, Corey, I have a coach for this, by the way. His name's Sean McCloskey, and he's with Life and Air, or was with Life and Air. Now he's doing his own thing. But my buddy Sean was like, well, I still have coaches, right? I have coaches to help me manage, to make sure that I'm on track, right? Because I don't know if you guys know this, but, like, let me show you, for those of you watching videos, right? This is my vision board, okay? And it's really cool, but I had this created by a good friend, Vince Palco with AdTunes. Vince Palco with AdTunes. So he helped me create this, my visions and my goals for 2018. And one of them, my main goal is just family, just having lots of family time. And so I scheduled a call with Sean to talk to him about this idea of the Kahuna Syndicate. And I'm really excited about it. But also, there's part of me saying, Corey, is this right? Is this the right thing? Am I looking at it the right way? And here's what's so awesome about what happened is Sean, he didn't even tell me what to do, right? All he did was lead me to a path of asking questions, right? And the questions were like, well, Corey, how does that line up with your goals? And I'm like, oh gosh, well, because you share with me your goals, and family is pretty important, and traveling, and I'm going there. I'm like, yeah, you know what? And my kids are getting ready to go into high school. I've got one going into middle school, and one's going to be a freshman in high school. And in my mind, I'm like, man, my kids are going to really need me. Hey, listen, your high school years, if you're in sports or anything like that to do with high school, you've got to be there as a parent. Like, this is the most critical years, man. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, I know it is, because it was for me. I wanted to know my dad was in the stands at all times when I'm playing football. I wanted to know that my parents are watching. This is a big moment. I'm already, because you're already going through like changes, right? Girls are becoming women, boys are becoming men, like things are changing. And that's a crazy time in life. And so it's very important as a father that I'm there. And so when I start putting this idea, I put it in with my goals, it became immediately clear of what I had to do. And believe it or not, it was actually really easy. And I was so thankful that I made it that easy for myself, because I put my goals first, right? And so like, that was it. Actually, I put God first, and my wife, and then my goals. Okay. That's probably the right order. But it was important enough for it. So I was like, okay, that's an easy decision. The answer is just no, I won't do it. I don't need it. I don't need. And so here's the best thing, because I'm in the game of cash flow. I'm not in the game of, I want to become a guru and sell you some information. That's not my play. Okay. My play is I'm in real estate. I'm an actual investor. I like to make deals. I like to make the cash flow deals that pay me time and time again. I have this business called the info business. And guess what? It requires time, just like I'm doing right now in this stupid chair, giving this message. Okay. That's a time commitment to do that. Now, just think about the time commitment to run I'm doing my boardroom event 3 times a year. We're going to do it in like April, one again in August, and again in November. To do that, it requires a lot of work and attention. And I wanted to add a mastermind to do 3 more events. And these were going to be pretty big events. And there could be traveling involved, and there could be commitment to do all this stuff. Like, I've worked harder the last 2 to 3 weeks trying to get ready for this boardroom, because this is my first one. So there's like a lot of work to be done as far as like creating this sticker, right? So this sticker right here, you can't see it, Kahuna Boardroom. It's a sticker. But like, that has to get created and made, sent, and it just takes time. And like, someone has to do it. Well, me and my team are putting the man hours behind it. And at the end of the day, if I was going to do a mastermind, it was not going to be worth it. So I said no to it. Now, most people can't say no to a lot of things, right? Especially, dude, this was a juicy idea. Easily, this is probably a 7-figure idea, right? So let me just do the math. I figured I could have a room of about 35 people giving me $100,000 every year. Okay, that's 3.5 mil. Now, I already know that I could do that. I could crush it. I would absolutely crush it. And I would bring massive value to the people that were in it. And it would become the Godfather of the Godfathers, right? Like it would be where all the deals were made. But right now, I can't. Now, 5 years from now, 6 years from now, when my kids are out of, like they're in college, I might have the desire to do it. But for right now, that desire's gone because I know it's more important. And it is the relationship with my kids. See, when we look at relationships, their relationships are everything. I see my kids in the back there. You're probably watching them right now. So, but relationships is everything. It's important in your business. It's important in your life, your relationship with your spouse. Me and my wife went on a date last night. We went to the movies, and that may not seem like a whole heck of a lot, but it was for us. It's been a while since we went on a date, and so we took a little time, and sometimes we just sit in the backyard early in the morning and have some coffee together. Right? It's those little things that you do that really mean so much in life. And so, my goal here is not to rant on like this whole thing, but I just feel like there's a group of people that I know that if they only knew the power that they had, like just because I know from where I started, and if I would have had that type of network, dude, I would have crushed it so much sooner and faster. Okay. I got a gap in my teeth, right? When I smile. Look, I'm a little overweight. I'm not the most sexiest thing in the world, but I can go raise capital like a mofo, right? I know how to do that, and I've got like the Wudang Ninja master at it. And the trick is I just don't sugarcoat it. I say what it is and what it's not. And that's really like the power of that. Like, man, I think if you're watching this episode, you just watched my last episode, hopefully, of the interview that I did with, I think it's episode 26, that I just did with one of my investors, Dick Nass. And dude, that was a great interview, by the way. Great. I had so much fun with him. We went to dinner or lunch afterwards, and we were just talking and laughing. And he really enjoyed it, had a lot of fun with it. And how fun is that to do that type of stuff with the people who give you money? Like that's the life. That's the fun stuff. And don't miss out on it, by the way. I mean, that's really why I've started this podcast is to show people how they can move forward and how they can start making massive, like totally, I'm gonna change my life. Change your life, legacy wealth, change the whole thing. Flip the switch, change the channel, like move into a whole different direction, pivot. And that pivot is the multifamily, right? It really is. But lots of times it's a team approach, but take stock of what you got. See, if I would have took stock and I was a doctor, dentist, chiropractor, anywhere I had a list of people, I would have said, gosh, how can I leverage all this? How can I leverage it? How can I now? Most of the doctors, dentists, and chiros that I know just can't quit their job tomorrow, right? So you got to plan your escape. And a lot of time, the problem with don't try to do it yourself, right? Listen, I'm going to tell you right now, you probably don't have the time, and maybe you do, but most of you probably don't have the time to spend the hours upon hours upon hours to get ninja good at it. Okay, like myself. I chose real estate. I'm a real estate professional. It's what I do. Okay, and I am living the cash flow life. But you could probably leverage someone like me and say, hey, I want to be a part of what you're doing. I think I can raise lots of capital for you. How can we partner? How can we team up to do something very significant in a way that like is going to really impact some people? Because I truly impact my investors. If you don't think so, watch episode 26 and listen to Dick Nass, right? I know I've impacted him. Like I'm giving him income, solid income. And dude, that's an amazing feeling. And I mean, I do it for a lot of people and it's consistent. And so the reason I don't pay a stupid return is because one, um, our deals are not set up that way, right? And B, what I think is lacking in the market is stability. I hear people all the time that they show me, I've got this stupid return that I'm offering all my investors. I raise money like that. And I'm like, well, that's your pro forma. Show me the actuals. I'll show you mine, right? I have no problem. I can show my actuals any day, twice on Sunday, right? We have perfect books, perfect books. And, you know, that's a great feeling to know that I'm actually paying my investors. There's a lot of people that when that comes around, they kind of want to hang their head a little farther down because that kind of puts them in the fields, right? It's kind of like putting them a little, and people don't like that. But it's very, if you'll follow me in my teaching, now, I think, I believe, we have finally opened up the Kahuna cash flow calculator. And so I just want to give a plug to that. Go to the kahunacashflowcalculator.com. You can get it for a couple $100. It's a very good, it's like a membership site, okay? And in there you have all the trainings of how to underwrite multifamily deals. I put a lot of them together. And I even gave like one of my deals as a template to kind of match up on. And I think you should have the broker's packet from that deal as well. So you can kind of match and see if you did it right. Okay. Pretty cool. But that's a really neat tool. That is, I've spent a lot of man hours creating that, by the way, but it is set up to be very conservative. And actually I'm giving you like the hour and a half coaching call that I had with my boardroom investors. I recorded that and I actually added that to the end. So you can see me just breaking it down piece by piece by piece by piece. And that was really cool. You're gonna really like that. You're gonna get a lot of value out of that. Other than that, we are actually going to start, we're working, now this is gonna be a work in progress as well. It may take us about a month, I think, to maybe put this all together. We're starting to get a lot of people asking me, hey, Corey, you know, if we want to learn about deals or stuff, you know, how do we do that? We want to get to know you. We are working on a process with my syndication attorney, Mauricio Raul. So Mauricio, I'll give you a plug. I'll get his contact information and put it in the show notes as well. Premier Law Group, but he's my private placement attorney, and we're talking about a way to create like a membership site that you can go to, and in that there's a certain process that I have to follow to get you guys, because this is education based, and you're here not because we're advertising, but because we're teaching. And you know, I want to share with you. I want to get to know you, and you might possibly be able to invest with us, right? If you choose to, right? And we have to kind of vet you, and we really have to get to know you on a financial level as well as personal level, because I don't put anybody that I don't like in my deals, right? But so there you go. So hopefully that's a truckload of information of how to leverage like your relationships. Now, if you're not a dentist, a doctor, a lawyer, or any of that stuff, okay, all my peoples, right? Raise your hand, raise it up high. Okay, you my peeps, listen, you can do it anyways. Don't let not having any of that stuff stop you, because it never stopped me, right? You start with your friends and family. You're like, Corey, gosh, I don't have any friends or family with money. Neither did I, right? Neither did I. But what I did have was a strong mind that I was going to practice on what, and anybody that would allow me to. And remember, when we raise capital, we never ask people for their money. We just ask them who they know. And by doing that, the right people will always self-select. I believe that in my heart of hearts. It's so true and evident in my life. It will be true in your life. You will start attracting. I just had one of my good friends, Brandon Barnes, send me a little thing on Facebook because he was getting a notary done with and closing a deal at somebody's house. He's talking to the notary, and what did he do? He started talking about his process, how he finds deals and how he does stuff, and how he uses investor capital. He planted the seed. Next thing you know, the notary's saying, "Hey, listen, I've always got, $50 to $100,000. I'm always looking to kind of place. Maybe we should talk." And just like that, a relationship was formed, right? And they started talking about money, and him being this notary is maybe possibly being an investor. Man, that is so powerful, so powerful on the words you choose when you introduce yourself and put things out there, right? Put it out there that you're out in the capital raising business and you do deals, and then just share the story. And the right people always will self-select and say, I'm interested. Tell me more. And that is how you start the relationship. No harder than that, right? Hey guys, give yourself a big applause for listening to me on this one. I really appreciate everything you guys do. Now, I'm excited because I'm going to have a lot of good stories to tell. And we've got a couple of really good guests coming up. So stay in tune for that. And again, remember, I always want to leave with this. No matter what you do, no matter what you say, whatever people say about you, don't let it stick, right? Because the power of our minds, if you believe it and you have to put it in your mind and you got to talk to yourself and give yourself talk like, I'm a multimillionaire. I'm going to be creating legacy wealth for my family. I know the multifamily is the way. I know that God's given me the gifts to do what I need to do. Start telling yourself that, because when you start believing it, your paradise becomes possible.